Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Z. I'm a clinical psychologist specializing in adult transgender care. Welcome to my channel. If you have not had a chance yet to subscribe, please make sure you do so. So this way, not only are you helping me, but you're also helping a lot of other people find this content. And if you don't yet follow me on Instagram, link is below. I would very much love to connect with you on Instagram. That way you also help me spread my content, share with everybody else tips, guidance, support, especially during this very, very difficult time. So please do make sure you stop by Instagram and connect with me on Instagram as well. For today's video, I want to discuss a topic that not only very important to talk about, but also a topic that a lot of individuals reach out to me and consult on in order to figure out what it may mean for them. And that is men being sexually attracted to trans women. And this includes either being attracted to trans women prior to getting genital surgery or being attracted to trans women after trans women have received genital surgery. Overall, it's about men being attracted to trans women. It's also about societal shaming of men who are attracted to trans women. And it's also about this pet peeve of mine. It is uh, rumor is not the right word, but misinformation that is being spread that if you are a man and you are sexually attracted to trans women, that means you're definitely trans yourself and you're just closeted and you are um, reliving that part of yourself through being sexually involved with a trans woman. This is a big pet peeve because it is not true. It may be the case, and I'll talk about more in detail today, but it's not automatically correlates in such a way. So let's unpack all of this because this is such a big topic. And it's a big topic because the number of men that I have, again, who reached out to me to consult with me on this particular issue it's a lot. And the primary concern often sounds and come across the same way. Look, I'm not experiencing gender dysphoria. I feel comfortable with my assigned gender. I am sexually attracted and also emotionally attracted to trans women. I would like to have a relationship with trans women, and I wonder what does this desire may imply in regards to my gender, in regards to my sexuality. Does it mean I'm trans? I'm confused. Why is it that I'm attracted to trans women? For starters, let's start with why. Why not? Why not? Why would somebody not be sexually attracted to trans women the same way somebody is attracted to cis women? Same way somebody prefer tall bodies, or somebody prefer curvy bodies, or somebody prefer individuals who are darker skin or lighter skin. Those are all sexual preferences. We all have sexual preferences that are combination of our innate desires, and they're also combination of our internal sexual landscape, if you will, that has been laid out throughout our histories, from our upbringing to how we grew up, where we grew up, what things influenced us. There's no one way to really explain why somebody is sexually attracted to one person versus the other, but we all do have sexual preferences. And for starters, it is incredibly important to acknowledge that there is absolutely nothing wrong with men being sexually, emotionally, intimately, physically attracted to trans women. Period. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. What is wrong is societal judgmental stance, societal impositions on what that might imply, societal shaming of this attraction that makes it deeply wrong. Let me also say that I'm not about to dismiss and disregard that there are men out there who are, you can call them chasers, there's a lot of other words people associate with them, who are only seeing trans women as a sexual object for whatever personal means. I'm not talking about those individuals. I think that sexually objectifying any human being, in my opinion, is wrong. Once you objectify somebody, you reduce them from their personhood to essentially an object for to serve humans. And in my opinion, that is wrong. I often tell people that chasers, those people who objectify, can be easier to spot because they lead with a very strong sexual narrative. And in their narrative and dialogue with you, there will be a narrative of objectification, right? They lead with that primarily. Whereas there's still a lot of men who are not objectifying, who genuinely find trans women beautiful, attractive, sexually appealing, desirable. The list goes on and on and on. So, what does it mean if a person is attracted to a trans woman? It just means that you're attracted to trans woman. I cannot stress that enough. People tend to take something that feels so right to them, and instead of going with the right feeling and lean into the right feeling, there's almost this propensity to magnify things and to twist it in our headspaces into something that is wrong, into something that is shameful, into something that is bad. Part of this twisting is partially due to the world we live in, to the messages we are all being fed about trans people, trans women specifically, about messages we've been fed throughout our history about sexuality, any form of sexuality. All of the things aimed to create and aimed to instill a human being with tremendous amount of guilt and shame, so that way they stick to a very narrow perception, not only of sexuality, but also of desire, and a very narrow perception of attraction and everything else. It is partially society that brings up within individuals that feeling of shame and guilt. And on top of that, if that wasn't enough, there are a lot of people on social media who perpetuate inaccurate ideas that if you're attracted to trans women, you are trans. You're closeted, you are not out yet, you're actually trans yourself. And the reason why you are especially sexually engaged with a trans woman is because you are exploring that part of yourself, on and on and on and on. Apart from gender identities, there's also a narrative that if you're sexually, as a man, if you're sexually attracted to trans women, that means you're closeted gay, right? That you're actually essentially attracted to men, which is even more toxic narrative because now it reduces trans women, it strips them of their womanhood. It's very important to understand that again we as human beings are incredibly complex. And our desires, our sexual drives, in addition to that, are not only complex, but what I mean by complex is that they're situated within our own histories. And everybody's sexual landscape is going to be wildly different. It is meant to be different because what's appealing to you, what's desirable to you, is going to be different than what's appealing and desirable to somebody else. When men are again attracted to trans women bodies, if you're watching this and if you're a man and you find yourself attracted to a trans woman body and you wonder what that means about you, for starters, can you just acknowledge that what it means about you is that you're a man who are attracted to a trans woman, period. And if you are starting to feel you had with shame and guilt, you need to realize that as a byproduct of societal layering, that you need to work on unlearning, that you need to work on to eradicate within yourself. Because if you don't, it is going to prevent you from having a healthy, intimate, thriving relationships with trans women. If you are curious as a man and you are feel sexually attracted and there's a consensual sexual relationship between two individuals, if there's a trans woman out there who would enjoy to be in a sexual relationship with you consensually, both of you go for it. I think we have to remember that again, for a lot of adults, there is sexual curiosity with a lot of things in our lives. There's people who are attracted to kink, for example. They don't know for sure if it's going to be for them until they're exploring. Exploring sexual connection, sexual relationships with people you find sexually attractive. In my opinion, it's not equivalent to taking advantage of those people. It is equivalent to that you're exploring. And again, as long as this is consensual and both of you want to engage in sexual intimacy, go for it. I think it's really important to allow oneself to be open with that part of yourself. So much about our sexuality, our desires, our attractions has been not only shamed, but also has been um, what's the word I'm looking for? It has been, I can't even think about the word. I'm thinking of something that is preventative, almost like a wall going down. I feel that there's so much that, again, socially, culturally, has been put in place to prevent people to explore the various aspects of themselves. This is why one of the primary issues people are having is having late blooming awareness of their gender because it has been repressed. And repression doesn't just happen in our minds. And we're not the only one repressing content within ourselves. Repression also happens as a byproduct of society. So it's very important, first and foremost, to normalize the sexual desires toward trans women, then to explore. Could it be that some men who are sexually attracted to trans women are actually having some kind of elements of dissonance with their assigned gender? Of course, of course. Could it be that all it is just attraction? Yes. How can you find out? Being open to that you feel. Exploring your feelings of attraction, where they're coming from, exploring how your attraction to trans women may be communicating to you in regards to your gender, if anything at all. The worst thing that anybody can make is make the giant leap. I'm attracted to trans women and therefore I'm trans myself. If that were true, then what are we then saying with that narrative? What we're saying with that narrative is that what? That the only men who can be attracted to trans women are men who are trans themselves? What? As if there's no men who are attracted to trans women, period, and comfortable being men? Just think about that. I also think it's very important for trans women watching this who are themselves attracted to men, who struggle with this. And I know that a lot of you struggle with this because you worry in the back of your head when you go on a date or when you start dating men, are they fetishizing me? Are they objectifying me, right? Is this man being a chaser? Is this man is closeted themselves and really not that interested in dating me? All of those questions are in the back of your head space too. And that's something for all of you to also work on detoxing and work through because you can't always operate in this fear. And if you are seeing already men through that lens, you're not leaving an opportunity to see a man that is right for you for a relationship because you already closed the door. You're already stepping on into every single date, seeing a man as other than just a man who is attracted to you. You have to trust. And you also have to, if you are looking for a long-term relationship material, Give it time to unfold. Get to know a man emotionally. Start investing your time and energy into courting each other. What happened to courting? What about just going on a date and getting to know each other before allowing things to get very intimate? I would assume that any man who genuinely attracted to any trans woman would want to invest their time in getting to know you versus immediately jumping into intimate relationship. And that's, I think, one of the important things to pay attention to as well. But we can't all make this just very reductionistic leaps that this equals this. And we have to also start normalizing that, first of all, trans women are beautiful, sexy, gorgeous, desirable. Of course, men are going to be attracted to them. Of course, women are going to be attracted to them. Of course, trans masc people, trans fan people, non-binary people, generally speaking, people are going to be attracted to trans women. Why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't they? Yeah, not everybody. Like I said, we all have our own preferences, and that's okay. But we have to acknowledge and normalize that attraction to trans women is, I can't even believe by the way that I'm talking about it. Just sounds so, just talking about it, it irks me really, because it feels like I'm normalizing and yet I'm bringing up something that is being dehumanized at the same time. And the two, um, the bump heads, and it really bothers me that I'm even talking about this topic today. But I still wanted to talk about this topic today because it's important for those of you who are men who are watching this and you're attracted to trans women to explore that, to enjoy that, to allow that. And if you're feeling shame and guilt, that's for you. That's on you. That's for you to detox. That's your responsibility to work through that. But it's really important to start having these discussions versus every man out there is a chaser, every man out there is trans, because that is not true. Comment below if you are a man attracted to trans women. Are you experiencing shame and guilt? What is your block, right? What is impeding you from stepping into a relationship? If you're a trans woman who is attracted to men, what has your experience has been? Do you find yourself that you're very quick to also judge men and presuppose and assume that they are there to take advantage of you, that they are either a chaser or they're out there to just sexually exploit you versus actually stepping in the relationship with you? Comment below, let me know. I'd love to hear from all of you, and I will see you all next time. Goodbye.